Now, I want to talk with you today about being faithful. This isn't just a once or a twice or a 50-time action. This is a lifelong commitment you need to make. You're going to be faithful day in and day out. It's faithfulness to God, to your spouse, to your work, to your church, to your family. Loyalty is a part of faithfulness. You're loyal, whatever the circumstances are, and often they will try to rip you away so that you're not faithful. But you don't become discouraged when something bad happens. Reminds me of a poem I heard about a man who wrote this poem called Paul's Girl. Paul's girl is rich and haughty. My girl is poor as clay. Paul's girl is young and pretty. My girl looks like a bale of hay. Paul's girl is smart and clever. My girl is dumb but good. Now, would I trade my girl for Paul's? You bet your life I would. Today, many people will trade in what they have when they see something better. But being faithful is not just getting the best you can, it's often sticking by what you have committed to. It is being loyal even when you are discouraged and defeated. When Abraham Lincoln came to the platform at the Capitol to be sworn in as president, he had his manuscript of his message and his tall silk hat in his hand. He put his speech on the podium, but he didn't know what to do with his hat. So Senator Stephen Douglas quickly stepped forward to take his hat and return to his seat. Lincoln had just defeated Douglas in a bitterly fought election. There was a lot of animosity between them. But Douglas said, if I can't be president, I can at least hold his hat. And this is what we should do. We should be faithful. We should be loyal. Don't be negative. Don't just give up. There is not much loyalty in life anymore. People just change course whenever they feel like it. They move on to something else or someone else. The Bible has quite a bit to say about faithfulness. The psalmist says, God will not forget his faithful ones. And he also says, God guards the lives of his faithful ones. And I love what Jesus says in Matthew 25, when he was commending his servant. He says, well done, good and faithful servant. He doesn't say successful. He doesn't say devoted. He says good and faithful. Paul also lists faithfulness as one of the fruits of the Spirit. So you be faithful. You know, all of my almost 60 years of serving the Lord, the people I have appreciated the most were not the loud, boisterous, action-filled ones who lit up the place for a year or two, but the faithful plodders who did their job year after year. They didn't flame out. They just kept on going and going, faithfully serving the Lord. When Franklin Roosevelt came to his inauguration in 1941, the man he defeated was Wendell Willkie. When Willkie came to the White House to make a courtesy visit, there was a man living there named Harry Hopkins. He was very ill with cancer. And Mr. Willkie asked the president why he kept him around. Roosevelt answered, "This is a lonely job, and if you had won the presidency, you would have discovered you would need someone like Harry Hopkins around who never asks for anything except to serve you." Harry Hopkins was faithful. He lived his life to honor and serve the president in all circumstances, even when he was a very ill man. That is what you should do. Faithfully serve the Lord and each other all the time. So here's my summary. 1, build faithfulness into your life. 2, do what you promise. 3, be absolutely reliable and genuine. Live out what you believe.